Our first guest tonight is a top-notch actor who comes from a galaxy far, far away, Scotland. He co-stars alongside his real-life daughter, Clara, in the movie Bleeding Love. It premieres in theaters and on demand a week from Friday. Please welcome Ewan McGregor. Let me just say, you got out here really fast. I mean, you were like Usain Bolt or something.
I got nervous tonight. I'm nervous tonight, yeah.
I think you might get, like, an offsides penalty for
Was that too fast?
No, yeah, it was very fast.
Should I come in again?
Yeah, well, no, you don't have to do it again.
All right.
I mean, if you want to,
nice.
later.
Very nice. Thank you very much. What a welcome.
How are you? Do you miss your home when we have weather like this? Does it make you long for...
I was just there. I left Scotland a couple of weeks ago and got back here to this.
I see.
It's like nothing ever happened between, you know. Yeah, it's pretty biblical, the weather up where I am.
You were in Orlando, this weekend?
Yes.
For one of those conventions.
Yeah,
It was like a huge one, right?
It was a MegaCon.
MegaCon.
It was a big one. Yeah.
MegaCon.
Yeah, it was huge.
This is not just like a Star Wars thing. This is a lot of things.
No, I think it's for everything. It's for all movies, all movies.
All movies?
Yeah, I never did them before, and then when I did the Obi-Wan series, Thank you. Thank you. They premiered it at the Star Wars one, the celebration, and I've never done it in the past, and I thought, well, I'm going to do it because I was excited to bring Obi-Wan Kenobi back, and I was excited to play him again. And I thought I'll just try it to see if I like it, and I did. I did like it.
You did, because correct me if I have this wrong, but I feel like there was a time where you just didn't even want to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's true. Something's changed, and it's partly because I've done these and I've met the fans who loved the films that we made.
Do you think it's also because there was, like, at the time when it came out, there were people are like really like, it's interesting because sometimes people react negatively when they see something right away, and then years later they're like, yeah, I like that.
I think it's different people, because I think the people that I meet that really loved them were kids then. And nobody was listening to them because there was no internet.
They're
kids. Or anything, you know, and they were kids. But now I've just I feel closer to them, and I appreciate them. And you're right, in a way. When I got the role of Obi-Wan in the first prequel, I'd made a handful of movies, and I felt like I was like Danny Boyle's actor. I was making sort of interesting, grungy, urban type stuff, and I felt like that was a sort of badge on my sleeve, you know. And then the idea to take on Star Wars was so massive. And maybe I thought at the time not what I'm really about. You know, it didn't really represent who I thought I was as an actor. But the closer I got to getting the role, the more I wanted to do it. And then I did it, and I threw myself into it. And then it came out, and people said terrible things about it. And it was hard, you know. That's not something that I'd experienced at that point. And then we had to make 2 more, you know. And we... That wasn't supposed to be a joke, but anyway. I had to make a couple more, and we did the best thing. We did the best we could. And people were still sort of snidey about them when they came out. I think because George was trying to do something new, and people just wanted the experience they'd had when they saw the original ones. You know?
And it's a very high bar to clear. I mean, it's perhaps the highest bar possible in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I meet these people, you know, like Hayden and I do photographs with fans together, Hayden Christensen. And this little guy came, he must have been 9 or 10 years old, this little boy with his mum and dad. And you could just see that when he saw us both together, he just couldn't hold it together. And tears were starting to run down his face. And it was just the most beautiful thing. It meant so much to him, you know. And somebody passed me a note before, you know, when you're signing autographs, they give you a note. And I read it when I got home to the hotel that night, and it was really beautiful. It was a beautiful note saying that the Star Wars films had helped this girl through some really dark times in her life, and that she'd saved up for a long time to be able to come to this Comic-Con, and that although she knew that it would only be a tiny moment for me, it was a really big moment in her life, you know.
Wow.
And I just thought that's beautiful, and in a way to get a chance to meet people like that, and it just means the world to me, and it's made me closer to the prequels, you know.
I think that's a great way of looking at it. And now that we're on the subject of things that are meaningful to you, and you're not just your career, but personally, your daughter, you and your daughter are in this movie together, and it's just a movie she wrote too.
Yeah, Clara came to. I mean, it's born out of a difficult time for us. You know, it was a big change in our lives and a painful time. And then Clara came up to me. And we didn't ever not see each other, but it was difficult for me and her because she was hurting a lot. And she said, "I'm writing a script about us." And I thought, oh, what's that gonna be like, you know? And then some months later, she gave me the script, and it blew my mind. It's so beautiful, and about a father and a daughter. And it's not our story per se, but you know, there's lots of us in it. And she wrote it and she produced it and she made it happen. And I had the privilege of just turning up and acting in it. And she was the producer, one of the producers, and also the lead of it, you know. And we play father and daughter.
Let's bring her. Why don't we take a break and we'll see a clip and we'll bring her out here. Ewan and Clara McGregor will be with us when we come back. A movie called Bleeding Love. We'll be right back.
You know I've been there, so the last thing you need from me is a lecture. But your mummy told me that your face turned blue. I mean, do you know what that means? This is serious, you know? Sweetheart. Oh. Very good, very good.
That is Bleeding Love. We are back with Ewan McGregor and Clara McGregor. Oh, it's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
I love these types of situations because I know, like, Ewan is helpless right now. You could say almost anything.
I really could, yeah.
You know everything there is to know about this man. We could go really deep, couldn't we? When you were a kid, would you go to set again? Would you see this, and do you feel like it made an impression on you?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel very lucky to have been able to grow up going to these film sets and seeing these movies happen from behind the scene, and it definitely made me completely fall in love with filmmaking, I think, from all aspects.
Were you too young to have been on Star Wars, or?
No, I was.
You were, okay.
I remember Star Wars very fondly because of the craft service table on those sets. It was amazing.
I bet.
It was amazing. Like, I would get there and I'd be like, yeah, hi, where's Crafty?
Yeah. Wow.
That was one of the many fond memories of being on.
I was telling your dad during the commercial break, I've told him this before, that he is my daughter, who's 32 years old, her favorite, and we watched Moulin Rouge like a zillion times in a row at our house. Did you experience that with the other kids or your?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think especially with Star Wars, when I was very young at school, there was a lot of fans that were my age.
Showing you Moulin Rouge when you were 9.
Oh my God, I know. I
put a DVD on. I said, "Look, this is your daddy's in this film," and then I went away to do some stuff in the house, and I could hear Clara just weeping and wailing, screaming. I came back going, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And she was like, "No, leave it." She didn't want me to turn it off.
I know. I remember that. It made me so emotional. I'm pretty sure that might have been the one and only time I've seen it.
Oh, yeah?
But I loved it, but it made me cry so much as a kid.
Do you remember other movies that you saw your dad in?
Yes. I mean, I saw a lot of them. There was one that was quite memorable. Watching this one was quite memorable in particular, because when I was a senior in high school, I took a gender studies class. And my teacher came up to me at you know, near the end of the semester and was like, listen, there's a movie that I usually teach as part of the curriculum. Your dad is in it, and there is some nudity, but so I wanted to run it by you before we watched it in class. And I said it was fine. I didn't really think much of it, and so we watched a movie called The Pillow Book, which is a brilliant film, but watching that movie at 17 with your entire high school class, it's more like they're watching me watch that film, you know, which was definitely an interesting.
Were you nude in that film?
A lot.
Yeah.
Frontally nude the whole time.
It is a beautiful film. The teacher, she emailed me before as well to say, look, just so you know, I'm thinking to show this to your daughter's class. Is that okay? And I went, look, I wouldn't want to be the reason you don't show that movie to your kids because it's a beautiful movie. But I said you have to guarantee that the kids are sort of mature enough not to make fun of Clara or make her feel bad about it.
And were they mature enough not to?
They were.
They were? Wow.
It was uncomfortable. I think they also probably felt a little uncomfortable about it.
Yeah. They're like, oh,
But
there's where she came from.
Yeah.
Come on,
A
Jimmy.
real hometown visit.
Jimmy, come on.
Listen.
So you wrote this film. Did
Yeah.
you have? I mean, I assume you had your dad in mind for you know, the role. Did you think about other people?
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
100%. Yeah, no, I'm just joking. I mean, I would love to work with him. But
So would I. I would, if
You would like to-
anybody in the world, he would be welcome to play that role because he's the greatest actor of all time.
Do you feel that way,
I
Nicolas
totally
Cage?
do. I watched that film, The Dream Scenarios,
Yeah.
and I was watching it going, he is truly the greatest actor of our time.
You share
I
the.
agree.
You both have the same favorite actor.
Yeah.
well, he's one of mine. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think. But I've always been trying to turn you on. I've been trying to turn you on to Nick Cage for a while.
Oh God, no! I was there when he.
Oh, good. It's going to be a fight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
cage
remember.
match.
I remember seeing. What was the film with the snakeskin jacket called? Wild at Heart.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember the feeling of coming out of the cinema seeing Wild at Heart. I was in Edinburgh and I came out of a cinema and I was blown away by him. He is amazing.
Wow, I never imagined that. What we learned from this conversation is that
Yeah.
you're both smitten with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. I'd like to see. It'd be fun to see him in this. You know, just a few scenes maybe.
Well, I think the movie's done already, so it's probably
Yeah.
too
I
late. You can tag him on
Sequel rights. Yeah.
in the
Yeah, he
director's
just-
cut.
exactly.
Well, the movie's called Bleeding Love. It opens in theaters and on demand a week from Friday. Ewan and Clara McGregor, everybody. Thank you guys for being here